So, let me flip this around. We're gonna do a little inspection on this radio Phono mix made by Coronado. It's all here. It is just abused. There used to be grill cloth on there. I set it over there, but it was like just absolutely ripped. I have a face mask on now just because of the amount of dust I saw fall out of this thing. Now, I believe this is Aircastle built. I believe Aircastle built this. We're not going to be repairing it in this video. This is just an inspection to see what we need. That's cool. It's one of those... That looks like one of those wires with... that use that coil as a resistor. So that coil is either... I think it'd be hot. Yeah, that's definitely what that is. That's cool. I wonder what that goes to. Some kind of thing for the record player, it looks like. But this kind of screams Depression era at me with the grid cap tubes. And it just being solid wood, all solid wood, hardwood. Even these little supports down here are all hardwood. So we're going to be taking a look under the chassis, seeing what we have down there. So it is cold down here. It's 55 degrees because I'm in the basement. But looking at this, here we have our power cord. I'll zoom it out. Here we have our power cord, which, if you look, it's been replaced, but it looks like they replaced it with an older power cord. In fact, see that white thing over there? That came off of this on the end of the power cord. So that power cord is probably from the 30s, their replacement. Not replaced in the 30s, but they used a power cord from an appliance from the 30s. Maybe a dead one, and then maybe they replaced it in like the 60s or something. But taking a look, it looks mostly original. This looks like a replacement, although it does list it as a condenser instead of a capacitor. In fact, all of these listed as a condenser. This could be old. Pre-1940, probably. It is shortwave and standard broadcast. It says, made in US of A. I might replace some of the parts in here in this video, because I do have some of these, really low microfarad values laying around. So I can probably replace this one for sure. Let's see, what is the voltage of that? Kind of all depends on the voltage. 400.01, I probably have that. But is that one of those tar capacitors? Ones that just have the tar jammed in them, that have that are multi-staged. Here's our filter capacitor, multi-stage filter capacitor, multi-section, I should say. That looks like a replacement, but it's probably from the 40s. Just after World War II-ish. Power switch. I guess first we'll check on the power switch. This video is basically just seeing... Oh wow, did you see that dust? Watch this. In the light you can really see it off camera. Just crumbles. I'm not sure what this yellow stuff is. Hope that doesn't cause an issue. I tried to sand it off with a wire thing, but it's no use. That's not going to do nothing. Look at that resistor back there. This video is just to see if this is a good candidate for repair. I got this for free from a person at a shop, one of my really good shops around here, that was going in the dumpster. And they kind of felt bad. They didn't really want to see it go in the dumpster, but that's what was going to happen. It was $25, but I got it for free just because it was in a dumpster pile. So, not too bad for free, especially if I can get this thing back on the road. This thing is definitely going. This looks like a very bad capacitor. It's like a Bumble Bomb-ish kind of thing, but it doesn't have the stripes. But it looks like a The same thing, excuse me. The same thing as a Bumblebomb. Yeah. We should probably test this thing too. Well, that doesn't connect to that side, so maybe it's not a resistor. It's just a guard or something. There's a fan there on the motor. Motor spins, not seized, and it's probably needs to be oiled, but it's not horrible. Also, it doesn't seem to need a new dial cord. Oh, maybe. Oh, it seems loose. That's the problem. I hate restraining dial cords. Everybody does. Bane of my hobby. I just want to know what that thing is. And if that needs to be replaced. Just a good look. Everything looks mica mold. But I believe this was made by Aircastle. Or Phono. If I haven't said that already. I do have the bottom to this. It comes in 2 boards, which I'm not sure is original. But yeah, I guess I'll see what I have and see what we can replace. One quick note is that, so if this dial cord fails, I can take this off, put a knob on there, and then just mark what stations it's on each side of the knob, and then just use the knob like that, because the tuning capacitor is connected directly to this pointer, and then the dial cord is just there, so then you can use the knob down here. Looking in my complete stock of capacitors, these are all the capacitors I have. The only ones that I think we'll be able to use are like these little drop capacitors. These aren't the crappy Japanese ones from the 60s. These are from CFLs. I think we found candidate number 1. Get it in the light there. A 250 volt, I think 0.473. That can replace that one back there. 0.05. I think that's 0.0473, excuse me, at 200 volts. So, looking at the back, there's a loop antenna back there. There's also a external antenna hookup out here, probably for shortwave. But, look at the sticker. Plant A, Chicago, USA. Oh, and of course the part that has the... Maybe this is RCA. If that says Radio Corporation of America, yeah, maybe this is RCA, but this is probably asbestos. Look at this black thing. Kind of like a clothy material. Sniffing pleasures. So I have my mask on. One speaker. Looks like it has 2 speakers. Maybe I can install 2 speakers and just put them in parallel. Does this thing work? Nope. That's a GE speaker from the 70s. But yeah. Maybe I can test some tubes. So it has all replacement tubes. Tungsol 50L6, Tungsol 12K7 GT. Something back there, I'll take a look at that. Oh, wow. Look at that. Somebody's been in here. 35L6, but they put a 50L6 in there. That's okay. But if you replace a 35L6 with a 50L6, that's not okay, because then you're way overvolting the 35L6. 35Z5. Looks like March of 1947. I'm looking for a date code that's on the chassis or something else. Like, yeah, somewhere on the chassis, which will give me an indicator of just the basic year when this was made. Look at this pink stuff on here. What is that? I like the paint on there. That's cool. Probably lead paint. What is this green stuff on here? I hate that. It's like limestone. Let's see what's back here. I'm gonna have to do this with two hands. So, this is pretty cool. There's an RCA, an old-timey RCA back there. Focus. Come on. If I'm repeating myself twice, it's because I filmed this part before and the camera wasn't recording because I'm an idiot. 70th day of 1954. Or maybe 64. I don't know if this was used up until then, though. They didn't make them in 1944. Look at all that tungsten in there. It's pretty cool. Probably don't even need to test that one. This one's clear. I'll probably test it, though, in case it broke. The filament broke. 35Z5 back there. Ooh. 187th day of 1939. This is going to be more of a resurrection than anything. Oh, man. Ah, yes. Sylvania 35Z5 GT from the 13th week of 1950. When would that be, like May 1950? So last time I used this tube tester, it was on a grid cap tube, and I touched that. It shocked me really hard. I let out a bit of a yelp, but it was actually on video too, but I didn't make that video part of it. So I'm kind of a little bit nervous to test these grid cap tubes, and this thing has not been recapped at all. It's got all original capacitors. Has a Sylvania tube inside of it. Funny how a tube tester has tubes. But I don't know. I'm going to take a little inspection in here, see if I have a replacement for that one capacitor, since it kind of scares me a little bit. And we're going to test the tubes. Ever wanted to see the guts of a tube tester? Here you go. It's quite advanced. We have a capacitor there. There's a tube in it. It's got a 6 something. Here, let me get that out. We got the tube out. There's the tube socket there. It is a 6X5 GT. Now, if this is the original tube, that's probably the 39th week of 1946, but I think that that's probably the 39th week of 1956. That it would have had a Philco tube in here, because that's what Philco always put in their stuff. But there's a huge transformer there. Massive transformer. And this is probably where you have all your World War II battleships and stuff. This was built in 1946, and it has a lot of metal in it. And I'm sure that a lot of the ships that were scrapped went into this. Not like, there's not like 30 ships in here, but I'm assuming that this might be made out of like a panel of a old World War II ship. Wouldn't surprise me. Also wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't, but you know. Look at this. A little pop-out socket or something. I think that's the tube socket that doesn't have a connector in it for like an add-on or something. But yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside. We're going to see what this capacitor value is. Going to replace it if I have one that fits it, and then get on to tube testing. So, we have a missing light bulb in here too, which would be nice to take care of. I actually thought that it was this light bulb over here, which is still in there, which camera can't reach. It's at 35%, I can unplug it. That one, which I thought was this one over here, which was missing. I thought that it was just burnt out, but nope, that one's good. There's a shield for it. It's made out of that weird cardboardy plastic stuff that you see in every old electronic. slide that back on since that thing is still good. But when I was checking that, I was checking to see if this light bulb out of here would work in there, since this is a GE51, but it's a Mazda light bulb. There's a Westinghouse logo on it too. Mazda 6 to 8 volt. It's still good, or at least the filament is still good in it. So that's really cool. Is that the same Mazda that makes cars? So what we have here is a Philco 400 working voltage 0.1. I don't think I have anything that can go in there. I don't have picofarad to microfarad memorized, so it's looking kind of doubtful that I can replace that. Of course, I could just look that up, but I'm using my phone as a camera, and everything is just kind of cut together in one long string. And if I hit the home button or go to Google or anything like that, it'll, I think, get rid of the video. It'll just save it from where I hit the home button at, and I don't want that. So, yeah. Yeah, I guess we can probably use this. It should be okay. I don't think it'll explode, and even if it does, I don't think it'll be so awful. It'll just explode inside of the thing. Oh yeah, and I gotta try to find a light bulb too that'll fit in there. Wouldn't that be fun? I know I have some light bulbs that kind of look like that. It's just whether they're good or not is the question. So I thought to myself, I bet this thing has a schematic in the back. Yes, it does have a schematic in the back, but while I was going through the pages, I found out that you could open that up too. So while I was flipping through the pages, I found this, which is not the schematic that I found. It was just kind of mixed in there. Of course, I have everything in there in order. It looks like what I need there is a neon bulb. That is rather unfortunate. I do not have a neon bulb on me. There's the pilot light. I think a neon bulb runs at 120 volts, but I think I only have 6.3 volt bulbs. Has those lines that Shango 66 videos have on the camera on this paper. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna get to this. The bulb replacement on there. Boy, is this a trip. Look at this. This is what I thought was a schematic, because I just saw that. So I guess that other thing was the schematic. How cool. $1948. That's a bit later than the rest of the stuff in here. The rest of the stuff is all dated 46, but I don't know, maybe this came later or something. That is really cool. We're gonna just put that right back on there. See why I thought would think that it was a schematic? Look at this thing. Oh, but that's how that thing was sent over. Right there. This came from Philadelphia, PA, the headquarters of, I'm covering up the name there. I'll just say it was in Iowa. That's where they shipped it to. Philadelphia, PA, which was Philco headquarters, in 1953. So it was after the copyright year on that thing. Copyright year. That means that it was probably made a couple years after that. Or most likely it was. This is cool. 6/15/53. Wow, recently developed tubes. Amazing. 45Z5, what the heck? Put the filament at 0. How cool. Help save a life. Be a blood donor. United States postal card. Doesn't say the address, it just says the town. Probably went to a shop, is my guess. A repair shop, that's probably where this thing was. I don't even know why I'm covering up the name on that. They're long gone. But really cool. Maybe they're not. I'm going to take that, flip it back over, and then shut it. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. So my 6.3 volt bulbs would not go well in that. This is a cool piece of equipment. Really cool. And for free. For free. All original except for the tube. You got this old punch-out slot. Yeah, I guess I'll put it back together. Ew. Yeah. I'll put it back together now. So while the camera was paused and I was putting this back together, I only have one screw in right now. This is a punch-out thing. And then remember how that one sheet had like the instructions for setting up a 9-pin mini tube thing? This is, and there's a bunch of wires and the thing jumped over. I think that's an add-on right there. It was probably one of these. And then in that thing, in the 9-pin adapter, it showed that you like jump a bunch of wires over here from this socket. Looks like they did that. Probably in 1953. They probably went in and they probably sent a note into Philco saying that they want that thing, like part number, whatever that sheet was, and they sent it back. What a cool piece of technology. I couldn't imagine the price that this thing would have shipped. If you were to ship it somewhere, especially cross country, it'd be an enormous price. This thing is heavy. So we have all screws in except for one. I'm going to put electrical tape over this. This thing will probably work with that dead capacitor. I'll just bring it up on the Variac. Just in case. I guess the only problem about that is that the Variac kind of tests, like, what's on the meter there is not super accurate. And I don't think what's up here is super accurate, and I feel like if I go down, I don't want to go all the way up to 130, because that might blow something else up. But if I go down, then it might not give an accurate rating because it's not putting full power. So I'll bring it up on the Variac, then if it works, I will take it off the Variac and then just kind of, yeah, do the hardcore plug-in. It's sloppy, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so we're gonna try to wean this thing. I have it plugged in, I have the line voltage all the way up. See, what tube are we going to test first? 12A8 GT. Sounds like it'll go in here. The only time you'll ever use the Loctile slots is with a Philco tube or an Emerson tube. I think those are the two big Loctile things. Shouldn't say the only time, but a lot of the time. 12. What is this? A 12A8 GT. ABCDEF with 8 filament control. So, load 11. 8 for filament. A, B, C, D, E, F. I think we're ready. Now, do we test this with this on? Grid cap? We'll do it. So now, bring this thing up. Up that just a little bit more. I realized that I could just put the line to where it's in the middle. Looks like that's a bit over. We'll just do a little bit less. Just a smidge less. And we're golden. Okay, quality. Oof. Oh dear. Pegs. So, yeah, pegs it. Put this in hardcore mode. Brings back some bad memories. How about now? Still pegs it. Really? That good? Or is this machine just off its rocker? Oh yeah, I should be testing it just on the line voltage. Oh well. Okay. Let's just see how hot this thing is. Warmed up a little bit. That's probably because the lights are on. Hey, the machine doesn't hate me anymore. 70-year-old appliance. 75-year-old appliance, pretty much. Okay. We have a rather heavy tongue sole, 12K7 GT. Let's take this thing off the Variac. Get it hooked up to line volt. I realized I was probably being a bit of an idiot, because I think the load control is supposed to be at 7. There's a test for 11 and there's a test for 7. So I'm going to test 7. That reads a bit more what I was expecting. A bit before replace. So we're just going to make that our final test a bit into the replace zone. And you can tell that this thing has an accurate meter, because when you do line, it goes right in the middle when it's at AC, your common AC voltage. So the meter is reading accurate. The meter's not off. Yeah, I trust this thing. Next up is this old 50L6 tongue sole. Might be some kind of date code there, maybe 32nd week of 52. Seems about right. So we got our filament at 11. That's what it needs. Load is at 2. A through F is up, and it's time for some line voltage. You can hear the meter, like the little thing inside there. I'm gonna look for it to, watch for it to get up to a steady glow. Before we head into the quality test, let's put E down. Right about the bare minimum of what would be a good tube. So we're gonna probably need a 12A8 if we want to get this thing to work. Probably gonna need a 50L6, which I think I have. Sounds like the kind of thing I would have, since I have several that have 50L6s. Now as it warms up, it might raise a little bit. I'm assuming this tube probably hasn't been powered up in 50 years. So yeah, might wake up a little bit. Looks like that's the maximum that it'll get to though. No, it's still going a little bit. Maybe I can just leave it like that for a little while, let it cook. It's going into the usable range. Okay, we can use that. Turn the machine off. So now we have the 12K8. You don't have the S on them because they have a grid cap. Not sure what the S means though. So 12Q, I think this is 12K. 12K7G. Filament is at 8. Let's see. Load is at 7. ABCDF. ABCDEF. Wow, I'm forgetting E. Holy crap. It's like the most used letter. So, start it up. All of its components are warmed up. I just gotta wait for this thing to get warmed up. You can kind of see a little bit of glow in there. See. Oh, that's a nice looking camera. That's shaky though. It's gonna give you guys a headache. We don't want that. Really? Does it need the grid cap? Oh. Oh my god. You know what, let's just boost the load up to 11. Gonna let it cook. Here we go. I got a grid cap on now, which I think will probably help, but this is not looking too good for this tube. Remember when the other one pegged and it checked just under replace? Yeah. This one's about par with the grid cap on. Let's put E down. Try it without F. Try it with no D. That's looking a little bit better. Try it with no C. Not looking up. With no B, it looks the same as it does with nothing. And with A, it looks the same too. So this is it. Either that one is like actually pegging in quality, or else this is actually like where it was without the grid cap, which is like it barely moved. So a 35Z5 is a little bit weird. There's like a couple different tests here with filament control at 0 and 10. So I'll indicate. Okay. So I think we got everything good. Filament is at 10. We have load at 3. And there's like a lowercase a, capital C, and E. And it looks like we're starting up. But look at all that tungsten burn off at the top. That thing's got a lot of hours on it. Line. It's actually showing up above the center line. Oh, holy crap. If that's actually what that thing tests, then it surprises me. I guess the only thing that's given us a reading is that. It's putting E down. Giving us a solid good. Like, that's a good tube. Alright. That's all of them. So yeah, I guess this radio looks like a decent candidate for being repaired. Not too bad. So yeah, I guess I'll keep it on my list. And then so that tube down there, I've already tested in the past. And it pegged it with the grid cap on, and without the grid cap it showed about maybe a 60%. Yeah. Oh, unfortunately I never got to getting any of the caps replaced on this. This video is pretty long already, and it'll probably take up a lot of time to upload, but we will get to that.